Hello everyone, in this example we are going to create a static website layout similar to this which have a navbar and a sidebar which is fixed and a main content area. So the view would be similar to this where we have a sidebar of 240 pixel and the main content area and have a logo divided to 3 sections. So all of this we will be using manually to design the style so that they are in place. So let's get started. So for this purpose, I am using VS Code and two files created under the folder called example1. One is index.html and the second one is the style sheet. So both of them are blank right now and we will create the layout as follows. So first of all, I am going to create the doc type HTML. So just exclamation mark and then a tab on your keyboard to create this auto layout and then name this as example1 and provide the style sheet. So link with the CSS and we already have the style sheet in place. So it is as it is. And then we will create the body section. So this was the style tag and in the body we will have a nav with a class of navbar and inside the navbar we will have a logo and a toggle bar. So the logo will have a class of nav logo and here we are writing the text as logo and then we will have a toggle button. So that is button, or instead of button we can also just give a div with a class of menu toggle and here we will use the symbol, so which is ampersand symbol and then hash and then 9776. So this is a symbol that we'll be using. And I have already opened this HTML page in my live editor and you can see that it is open right now in this port. And if I refresh it, I can see those two elements which we created just now with the logo text and the toggle bar. And after this nav bar, we are going to create the nav link. So and yeah, so I think I forgot one thing. So this was the nav on the left side. So kind of nav header. So we'll place this inside a class called nav header. And inside the nav header, let's copy this, all of this element. And after the nav header, we will have the nav links. So these will be the nav links. And these nav links will be inside their own class called nav-links. And under this, I'll be using the link tag, which is A. And here href, I'm giving as the sample home with the text of home. And similarly, we'll create 3 more links. So one will be home, one will be product, and then about us, and the last will be contact. So we can rename this as well here in small letter, product and about us, and this is in contact. So we have created now the nav links, and if we go back and check, this is how our nav links look with the default style since we haven't written the style sheet. And after the nav link we will have a profile image. So profile image, and this profile image will have a class of profile menu, and inside the profile menu we will use the image and the art will be avatar, and we will use the image. So I've already selected an image from the pixels, so you can select an image of your own choice from the pixel website or even as a static image. And then we are also going to add a button with the text of logout. So once this is done, we have the structure in place for the navbar. So this nav is completed, and now we'll work on the main content area. So if you want to see the structure of the web page now, we'll see that the web page looks with the image filled up completely because we have not styled this image. So let's quickly complete the main content area. So the main content area and also the sidebar. So we'll first start with the sidebar, and the sidebar have a class of sidebar, and this sidebar is again using a link. Now again here we will give multiple links to see the sidebar. So let me quickly copy this, and under this again we will create a product, contact, about us, categories. Now again I'm giving this randomly, you can give any of your choice, and then invoice, billing, and profile. So we created a sidebar. And after the sidebar, we'll create the main content area. So here, let's write content, and under this we'll have a class of content. Under the content, we'll create an h1 with a class of content heading, and here we'll write main content heading. After the h1, we'll create p with around 50 lorem ipsums. Sorry. So we'll create p, and under the p we will give 50 lorem ipsum. So we have pretty much created the structure of our web page, and if we go back, we'll see that this is how our web page looks as of now, and we are going to style it in the style sheet. So the style sheet is open in a split view toward the right side, and here first we will start with the default styling of the page. So let's style the body. So body, I want to have a margin of 0, padding of 0, and font family of, I'm going to choose Arial, and also I want to display all the element as flex. So this is my body style. After that I will style the navbar. So the navbar is totally in the top, so the top will be 0, and the left also there's 0, there's no padding on the left, and have a width of 100%, so it is expanding across the screen, it doesn't have any spaces, and making it its position as fixed, and also we want to display this as flex. So although our sidebar is going to be fixed, but we are using the flex box in the navbar, and we want to justify all the content as space between those elements or the sections, because we have 3 sections in the navbar: the left side with the logo, the middle section, and also the right hand side sections. And we will align the items as center, and I want to have a certain kind of background color. So background color I will give as D2D, and with a specific padding. So the padding I want to give is 10 pixel top and bottom, and 20 pixel as left and right. And the color of these elements will be black, or we can directly give 000. And also I want to have a margin of 0 in the top and bottom, and auto in the left and right. So this will be a navbar, and before I go and style other thing, let's size the image. So the class of the image is profile menu. So this is the class that we have for the image. Let's give it a specific width and height. So I want to give a width of 40 pixel and also height of 40 pixels so that we can see the other elements clearly. So let's save this, and if we go back here, so we see that we are able to see the elements, but there are few things which are not visible. Let's check maybe they are hiding somewhere. So maybe we'll style the menus properly so that we are able to view those items. So yeah. So now let's style the nav links, because nav bar we have style. Now we'll look at the nav header. So what are the classes we have in the nav? So let's take those first. Sorry. We nav header. Then we have nav logo dot nav logo. Then we have style for menu toggle, and we also have style for nav link, and profile menu image we already have here. So here I can give profile menu and image. If I do the image, yeah, now I have this elements visible here because I was not targeting img, which is image. I was just targeting the profile menu class. So let's work on the nav header. So the nav header will have display of flex. Why we are giving flex? Because we have two elements there. So we will do justify content as space between, and also we will align items as center. So this is for the nav header, and if you go back, these two elements are side by side, although we don't want to display the toggle in the larger screen, which we will take care in the later part. And after the nav header, we will style the nav logo. So nav logo, we want to have a certain size of this element. So font size will be 20 pixel, and we also want it to have a font weight of bold. And then the nav toggle. So nav toggle, similarly, we will give it a font size of 20 pixel and color of black. Okay, and also we want to have a certain margin. So margin toward the right side as 20 pixel, and we also want to show a cursor. So cursor pointer. So now let's see how it looks. So now this is how it is looking. So at this point, we have created a nav toggle, and we also want to work on the nav links. So for the nav links, again, we will go with the display property. So of flex. So we will copy this because now we need to align the center links, and the same property we'll use here, but there will be some differences. So we don't want to show the overflow of the items. So we'll say overflow is hidden. And for the nav links, we also want to style the nav links a tag, and for that we want to have the color of the element as black, and text decoration, which is basically the underline. We don't want any text decoration, and we want to have certain space with the right elements. So we'll say margin right as 10 pixel, and if we check the elements, now they look somewhat like this. So now we will work on the profile menu. So profile menu, we already have the image, we have a height, and we want to make it rounded. So we will give a border radius of 50%. And then we also want to style the button, which is a logout button, and we want to show it as a button. So we will give button few of the properties like padding around the text, which is 10 pixel top and bottom, 20 pixel left and right. And again, the color of the text is black, and outline, we don't want any outline, so none. And also border is none. And background, we want to have a transparent background. And we also want to have certain amount of border radius, just 5 pixel. And so when we hover over it, we should, so when we point to it, we should see a cursor like pointer and then some space toward the right. So we will give it a margin right of 20 pixel. So now if we look into site, this is how it looks as of now. So this is the nav. Okay, so I think it's not working because it is nav dash links and not nav link. That's why the text decoration did not show up. So now the text decoration is showing up properly since we selected as none. So now it is not showing up. So the styling part of the top section we have done. And we also want to make sure that when it is a smaller screen, we are seeing the toggle and we are seeing the logo when it is a bigger screen. So this we will achieve with the help of media queries. So we will say media screen and the max width of 768 pixel. So when we achieve a smaller size of the screen, what are we supposed to do? So what I want to tell is that nav logo, my nav logo should not be visible. So I will say display as none. And during this time, I also want to make sure that the toggle is visible. So in the bigger screen, I don't want to show this menu toggle. So since I don't want to show, so I will say display as none. So in the bigger screen, it should not be visible. So if we go back, it's not visible in the bigger screen. And let's open up the inspection. And if now here I say that I want this menu toggle to be visible, so I'll say display as block. And if I go back and reduce the size of the page to less than 768, now we see that the toggle is visible and the logout icon is no longer visible. Similarly, we want to remove this nav links when we are on a smaller screen. So that we can do with the help of dot nav and dash links, and we'll make it as display none. And also we want to make the, let's check this, and so the menu is gone, and as we can see, we have actually sized the smaller items. So we have for nav logo, menu toggle, and then nav links, and okay, and profile menu, we just want to make it a bit right. So dot profile dot dash menu. So we'll say margin right as 20 pixel. Okay. Yeah. And it seems the image is a bit on the top. Maybe we can give certain space on the top. So when we are in the profile menu, we can give margin top of say 5 pixel or 10 pixel, and let's see if it is sizing up with the button. So okay, so we hover over the element, its margin top, and margin top is actually not doing much. How about the button? The button is having a padding and margin right. So if we remove the padding, okay, the padding is also not helping much. Okay, so we will look into that style. Now let's look into the main content area. So the main content area here, margin right is there, padding is there, right? So okay, we'll come back. Now let's look into the sidebar because we haven't styled the sidebar. So for the sidebar, we'll start here, and sidebar we will give a top of 55 pixel because that's the size I have calculated earlier. We are leaving that much of space at the top and then starting the sidebar. We are not starting the sidebar right from the very top. Otherwise, I would have given a 0. The 0 is a point where we started the navbar, as you can see. But we are starting the sidebar, giving a space of 55 pixel from the top. And the position is also fixed. So it's not going to we cannot toggle between the sidebar, like making it closed. So it will be a fixed position, and the max width that I'm giving is at 240 pixel, and it is going to occupy the 100% of this 240 pixel. That's why the width is 100%, and the height also taking it as 100% of the height, and the background color that I'm giving here is the lightish grayish black, and padding from the top is around 50 pixel, and again the overflow in this case will be hidden. So this will be my sidebar, and if I have to size the content, which is the content or on the right hand side, we will say that content height is auto, and also the padding that we are using for the text is 10 pixel top and bottom, and 20 pixel left and right. And let's see how it looks now. So this is how our navbar is there, and we are seeing that both of them are overlapping. So we are going to change that. So for the sidebar, we'll have to style each of the individual items, which is the A element. Then the content will look better. So for the sidebar, A elements, okay, we have the sidebar A. So okay, so under the sidebar, I'm also going to take one more div of sidebar links, and then encapsulate all our A elements under this sidebar links. And this sidebar links, I'm going to give a padding of 20 pixel. Okay. And then sidebar links A, we will say text decoration as none. So we don't want the underline, and we want to display it as block element. And the color of this elements, since the background is grayish, we want to make it as white, and also have certain kind of padding, which is 10 pixel top and bottom and 20 pixel left and right. Let's check how it's looking now. Okay, so now it is looking perfect, but we want to also give some kind of color when we are hovering over it, similar to what we have here. We want to give a hover effect on both the sidebar and on the sidebar link. So here what we want to say is that when we hover on the sidebar. Okay, this is not on the sidebar link, but sidebar with a hover property, sidebar A and hover property. We want to change the background color to green and the text color to white and the border radius to have a little rounded effect, so that will be 5 pixel. So now if we go back and we hover, so this is our web page that we are designing right now. So we can see that we are getting that hover effect. And now for the sidebar links, we already have defined the text decoration, display, color, padding property. And if we look at this, do we want anything else? Okay, so I think we are good with the sidebar links, and now we will work on the content. So for the content, we have given height and padding, but we also need to take care of the left and top. So we will give margin top of 100 pixel, a certain space from the top, and margin left of 250 pixel, so that we have space and the contents are not overlapping. So we can see that the content which is overlapping on the left hand side, now it is toward the right side. And we also see that the sidebar is overlapping with the logo. That means the sidebar is 55 pixel. So if we make it as 45 or 30, okay, so it's kind of increasing. So how about 65 pixel? 85. Okay, so for this browser, it says 85 or 84, 83. I think 83 is perfectly fitting in. So this way we can test, right, in our inspect browser what's the size that it will accept. So 83 is something which is working fine in this case. So we will change the size of the sidebar to 83 instead of 55. 83 pixel. And now our sidebar should display properly. Yes. And if we go back, it has some more space, so we can give some more space between this element. So for that, we'll again go back to the sidebar links and give a margin bottom of say 10 pixel. And padding we have already defined. So I think now our sidebar should look exactly like the example project that we had. And now we'll work on the main content area. So main content area, we have already defined the sizings, and the content heading is the class for the H1. So let's style this a bit. So the content, so the thing that we can define here is a font size of the text that we want to see. So we will go with the 20 pixel. And what is the font weight? Or let's say 24. And font weight, how much thicker do we want this? So we will go with the bold, and there's certain space at the bottom, so we'll go with margin bottom as say 10 pixel. So there'll be certain space between the P tag and the header element. So you can see that it's appeared like this. Now we'll style the P element. It does not have any class, we are directly styling it. Okay, or we can do dot content, and then the class is content and the p tag belongs to the content. So we are giving margin bottom, certain space at the bottom to 20 pixel, and also we want a line height or line height as 1.25 rem. So I think we are pretty much done with this example, and it looks exactly same as what we have here. Additional thing that we can do here is providing the hovering effect, the color change, and the background if we hover over it. So that we can do in the nav links. So if we go back to the nav links here, we can add the hover effects, and here nav links hover, and here we want to change the background color of say light golden yellow, and the color will still remain black. Yeah, let's see how it looks. So if we go and do a hover, okay, so the hover is on the entire nav links. I think we need to give on the A, nav links and A tab. Yes, but we also want to make it as a bit rounded. So in that case, we'll have to give a border radius. So we'll give border radius say 5 pixel, and also I want to have padding, so say 5 pixel and 5 pixel. I give some padding in it. And now if I go back and if I hover over it, you can see that's nicely showing the hover effect both in the sidebar and also in the nav link. So this was an example of creating a simple static site with the fixed sidebar and content area. Hope you like it. Thank you so much.